You were taught not to be the misbehaving child in school. Whenever you would talk loudly, or whenever you would get into a fight with one of your friends, or whenever you would just speak back to the teacher, you would be punished for it. Your father, for most of your life, or at least for most of your growing years, was most of the times at work. He would only come back like after work, so at 8, 9 p.m. You would only get to spend like an hour or something with him. As a result, what happens is an entire generation of men raised purely by women. You spend your entire day in school where most of, or maybe pretty much all of your teachers are women, and the rest of the time you spend with your mother, who is also a woman. This causes a wave of feminine, weak, pathetic men. And then there's you, who actually understands the importance of being a high value masculine man, who actually understand that, who actually have the humility to know, be like, yeah, I'm not as much of a man as I want to be. I'm not as masculine as I could be. And I actually am okay working towards it. There's men like me who are actually trying to make an effort towards fulfilling their purpose, which is to salvage the few men in our generation who are still redeemable, who still understand that these things are important for us. So here's a list of top 5 skills that I think every man needs to have in order to be considered a man, and secondly to become more masculine. So if that sounds interesting to you, keep watching. Number 1 is communication skills. Just do this visualization with me, it won't take a long time. Imagine that you're sitting in your school or your college classroom, right? And you're absolutely like crowded, like surrounded by women. And all of them are like laughing and trying to get your attention. They're all listening to the whatever fucking fake story you're telling them. And they're all happy and engaged in the conversation. Everybody's listening to you, nobody's interrupting, nobody wants to put in their own 2 cents. Everybody's listening to you. Some of them are even subtly flirting with you. They're touching your shoulder, they're putting their hand on your bicep. And you know what that means. Suddenly, from the corner of your eye, you notice a group of boys. I say boys because these are not really men. So you notice these group of boys who are staring at you. And I mean like staring, like they're mourning, they're angry looking at you. And you can just tell because you used to be men like them. You can just tell they're angry and they're muttering stuff, and then you know they're talking shit about you. You know they're saying that he's gay or some shit like that. And you also know that they're just coping, they're just jealous. So you ignore them. And what happens the next day? Next day, these same boys come up to you. They come up to you and they introduce themselves, and they want to be your friends. They want to be your friends because they want access to the same group, like the horde of women that you have access to. If these were primal times, ancient, like before civilization, before we were civilized, if it was that time, you would be the fucking alpha, bro, because you just had access to all of these women. That is purely because of the, maybe it could be face value, maybe it could be attraction, but if you are attractive alone, if you're only good looking, that like increases a lot of points in terms of your physical attraction. But if along with that you have good conversation skills to go with that, that just elevates your personality to another level. There is nobody in your competition anymore. Suddenly you'll feel like every single girl wants to be friends with you. Every single boy wants to be friends with you because they want to be friends with the girls, and they can't directly go and approach the women because they're fucking scared and they don't know how to speak. You it is like a cheat code for us men, young men, because most men will never attempt or try to actually build conversation skills. Old people naturally have that because they've just had so many fucking conversations, they've practiced it so many times. But young men like us who haven't actually had a lot of meaningful conversations with anybody, there are men who haven't had a single meaningful conversation with anyone ever, never debated, never argumented with anybody ever. And these are the men who will not even stand a chance against you if you would develop this one skill. In case you're interested, I have a full 1 hour plus guide on how to improve your conversation skills, and it has actually absolutely killed. It's one of the videos that has gotten the most views in my channel. So, and there's been a lot of good reviews towards that video. So, if you want to check that out, I'll put up a card somewhere. Watch that after finishing this video. Number 2 is confidence. Your conversation skills are going to be useless if you cannot go up to random strangers, if you cannot go up to random girls and go and talk to them. You don't necessarily need to like cold approach women in order to get them to date you or in order to attract new women. You don't need to do that. If you're physically attractive, if you have a loud personality, if you have conversation skills and all the other skills that I'm going to talk about, and if you actually have a goal and you're not just random degenerate goblin like everybody else in this generation, you will have women attracted to you naturally. You won't have to approach them, but it is an extremely powerful skill to have, because being able to talk with confidence is just, there's something magical about it. Like, I could be able to speak to my or to all of my friends very well, but if I'm in a new circle where, or maybe I'm at a meeting somewhere, and these are all very, just imagine this is like a hypothetical situation. I'm at a party somewhere, and these are all like rich, fucking rich men. I need to network with them. I don't have the confidence to talk to anybody. Even if I have like ace conversation skills, it's fucking useless. Like, the only cope or the only excuse I may have about that is like, get to know me, bro. I'm very awesome. Uh, Who the fuck cares? Who the fuck cares if someone has to get to know you in order to know what a great personality you have? You need to be confident enough about it, about your personality, that you can just showcase it to anybody. That's called being a man. Being a man is not being scared and not being apologetic about anything. Obviously, like obviously, like sometimes when I say things, they come off as harsh and they come off as just not the way I mean them to in my head, but just I mean like have humility, be humble, be kind. Those things are extremely, extremely important. But just having, if you have a personality and if you have actual real opinions about things, if you know how to talk to people, if you know how to carry a conversation, then having confidence is a no go. Like, it's a no brainer. You need to have conversation. Otherwise, the skill of the personality that you've built and the conversation skills that you build are fucking useless, because you cannot showcase it to the world, right? So, in order to develop confidence in any area of your life, I have a full video on that. You can check that out. But if you just want to know like the secret, like the one sentence secret of how to build confidence, it's to expose yourself to these situations again and again and over again. And when you do this over an extended period of time, you will eventually get so used to that experience. When you just go up to random strangers and introduce yourself, you'll get so used to that process, you will almost be bored about it. And that is the point where you've finally built confidence. You're no longer scared, because you know every single scenario that may or may not happen. When you've introduced yourself to 100 strangers, you know everything that could or can happen. So now there's nothing really that will surprise you. So there's no scenario in your head that is like, oh, this may happen, so I'm not going to do it. So just being able to, so just exposing yourself to these scenarios. I'll give you an example just so you're clear, that just so you know that I'm not like bullshitting you. This 100% works. I was extremely low on confidence all throughout my school life. And in 10th class, I decided, or maybe in 11th, I don't remember. But in that class, I decided that I'm no longer going to be this person. I was tired of being this stuck up loser who is low on confidence, cannot go up to girls to talk to them, cannot stand up on stage and say something in front of the entire school. I was tired of not being able to do all these things because I just felt pathetic. So my father just straight up told me the only way to build discipline, the only way to build confidence, and there are others, but my father told me this, is to just do the thing. Do it scared. So I decided I'm going to enroll myself in this I think it was a play for annual day or something in my school, and I performed in front of like 2 3 schools, and I killed it. Like it was awesome, but I was shaking in fear. But I had just practiced that so many times. I had done it in front of the audience so many times, and every single time in front of the stage when I was about to perform, even in practices, even when I was not in full costume, even when there was room for mistakes, I was still I was still shaking. In my head, I had to be perfect. In my head, all these people were talking about me, thinking about me, judging me. I'm like, that is what's supposed to happen, bro. Everybody's judging you all the time. It's not just in on when you're on stage. When you're on stage, like it's obvious that they're judging you. Even when you're just having a conversation with the person that you've just met, they're still judging you. They're still trying to figure out what kind of a person you are. Humans do that all fucking time. So that shouldn't be a limiting factor for you. That should be like that. This happens to everybody. Like I judge everybody. So to be scared about that is okay because it happens to everybody. But just understand that you're being scared of something that just does not happen. Like they will. It's not like they're gonna think if you do something stupid on stage or if you say something stupid in front of people. If you're not really confident about your English speaking, a lot of people do say that. I did not get. I was not born with this. I live in West Delhi. I'm not. People think I live. I'm from South Delhi. I'm not. Right. So I live in West Delhi. You are shamed here for speaking in English. So just so you know, I was not like. It's not like I have the right circumstances in order to become this person, in order to get this fluent in English. It takes effort. You need to make conscious decision that this is the person that I want to be, and I will work towards it. Do everything that is uncomfortable, everything that you know is is something that you're not able to do because of your confidence, and then go and do it scared, fuck up a couple of times, it's fine. When you do it enough times, you're just gonna get bored of it. I know everything that's gonna happen. I'm just no longer scared. After that annual day performance, I have never ever even hesitated performing in front of a stage. Like you always will get nervous. Confidence is not. It's not like you just get obviously. I used to be extremely nervous while talking to a camera. Now it's fine. Now it doesn't matter because of how many times I've done it. But when there is like an interactive thing, when there's like an audience in front of you, you will still get nervous. You'll still get butterflies in your stomach, and that is completely fine. But it's just that mental dialogue, self dialogue that you have with yourself where before the stage, before grabbing the mic, you're like, it's fine. Like nobody really cares. Like I've sat as the audience, and I didn't really care about that. I was literally just talking to my friends, and nobody actually cares. Nobody thinks about it a day after. If anything, they're gonna laugh in the moment. They're gonna get a good laugh. So what? Who cares? If I fucking kill it, if I nail this, they're gonna talk about it later on. But if I just fuck it up, they're gonna laugh right now and they're gonna forget about it. That is how it works. So building confidence is by far the best thing you can do in yourself, with yourself. It is a very important skill to have as a man. If you want like a detailed explanation of how to become more confident, how to get better at public speaking, as I said, I have a full guide on conversation skills. I also have a full guide on how to build up confidence. If you want to check it out after this video, I'll put up a. I'll most likely like just link all these videos in the description, so like it's easier for you. Number three is flirting, and I know this is like sort of a part of conversation skills. Like if you're good at conversation skills, you're good at public speaking. Also should be good at debating people. Also should be good at being respectful to when you need to be respectful. Be able to disagree with confidence. You should also be able to flirt with confidence, but it is not as obvious as you may think. Some people just don't understand what flirting is at all. Flirting is such an important art for a man to know. I have gotten so many compliments about it from so many different girls, and it is like the overpowered weapon in a game. It's that good. Like if you nail this one thing, there is nothing else you need to work on in terms of your game. Like, you don't need to be thinking about how do I manipulate this woman, how do I be more mysterious, how do I act not like a nice guy. Fuck all that. Just learn how to flirt. Before anybody gets their dicks hard about flirting and be like, oh, I know how to flirt, you fucking don't. And here's why you don't, because you've never gotten any compliments about your flirting. Two, it has never worked for you. And number three, it's because you've only done it with girls that you know like you, or that you know, or maybe you've already dated them. That's not called flirting. That's just called being a boyfriend. Flirting is, I used to flirt with every single woman that like I was friends with, even with girls that I was not as like comfortable with, even the girls that were not as close friends of mine, I would still flirt with them. And here's a few signs that you need to learn in order to flirt properly. I'm not going to teach you how to flirt. This is just a disclaimer, so you don't go around like eep teasing women. So number one is, you should not come off as creepy. Though now there is like a disparity. If you're naturally just an ugly guy and you haven't worked on your looks or anything, you're just ugly, you're always going to come off as creepy whenever you're flirting with a girl. Always. That's just pretty guy privilege. So if you don't think you're that advanced in terms of your physical attraction or your looks, I have a guide on that as well. Work on your looks first. Second is, you should be humorously teasing her. Should not be insulting or disrespecting her. Girls don't like that. Like, girls do that to you when they like you, but they don't like it done to them. All right, so that's the number two, is you don't insult or disrespect them. Instead, you subtly tease them. Number three is, you need to suggest that you like them. You need to suggest that you find them attractive while also being humorous. Humor is a big thing in while flirting. If you're not funny, you're not going to be able to flirt. So number three is being able to suggest that you like them or find them attractive while also being humorous. If you can nail these three things, you will be flirting, and like that's basically flirting. When you subtly tease them, when you're like subtly suggesting that you like them. I cannot give you an example because it is such a wide concept for me. Like, in my brain, there's just so many branches that pop out that I can't physically explain this to you, because it comes naturally to me. I didn't have to learn how to flirt. I just got good at being funny, and then I translated that to just teasing them. And that ended up being flirting. So these are the three things you need to understand in order to be flirty without coming off as a creep, or without harassing women. These are the three things. Number four, fourth skill you need to have as a man, or in order to become more masculine, is to be able to delay gratification. And I'm sorry if you were expecting some things like I would say like play chess or some bullshit like that, but these are actual things that you can start working toward. That will take time, but this will really like add value. This will really uh, increase the points that you have in order to like your manometer. This will increase your manometer basically. So number four is being able to delay gratification. Just in case you're not aware of what delaying gratification is, it's basically in this new modern era when men want instant gratification. Instant gratification means you watch porn, you jerk off, you feel nice, instant gratification. You eat some shit food, you feel nice, instant gratification. You you scroll on Instagram all fucking day, that's instant gratification. But what masculine and actual men, not these fake fucking men that like keep sucking on this fucking wave with their skinny necks and their little fucking skinny bodies, these are not real men, and the instant gratification is their thing, right? So if you want to be more like them, instant gratify yourself more. But if you want to be a high value masculine man that actually people look up to, that actually women respect and they want to be with, and kids look up to you, if you want to be that kind of a man, then you need to be able to delay gratification. Delaying gratification is delaying gratification is when you Sacrifice what you want to do right now for what you want ultimately. Here's an example. I want to become a high value man. I want to become an internet like leader, kind of an influencer that other young men look up to, other Indian men specifically look up to as a guardian figure. And I want to help these men become the best versions of themselves by first becoming so myself. So, in order for me to complete that journey of myself, I need to be working really, really hard. I need to not party, which is instant gratification. I need to not have a lot of degenerate friends, which is also instant gratification because you have fun with degenerate people, right? That let's say this guy is Bablu, right? Bablu always calls you up in order to be like, "Chal, veere gedi marta." This is the guy you need to be staying away from. You need to. I also don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't do any kind of drugs. These are all sacrificing that I'm making. I don't spend all my day watching Netflix. I don't watch porn. All of these things that I'm choosing not to do right now. And instead of doing that, I am working on my business, on my entrepreneurship, on myself. I'm reading books. I'm creating videos that are going to help my generation of men become best version of themselves. I am creating a course. I'm creating an online community. I'm building my digital product in order to be able to make money online. That's the ultimate goal, right? The catch is that I'm not getting anything out of it right now. I'm not making any money. I am whenever I go to the gym and I work out, I'm not instantly seeing any gains. It's not like I just do like 1,000 bicep curls and the next day I have like big fucking biceps. It doesn't work like that. So being able to do things repeatedly over and over again without being able to see results and still do it without the need for motivation, external motivation, which you get by seeing results, by seeing progress, is a huge and a massive skill that most men in this generation do. And by most, I don't mean like 60%, I mean more like 99%. So, just by inheriting this one skill, just by shifting this mindset from your brain of punishing your future self, because whenever you're eating that sweet, whenever you're skipping gym, whenever you're being like, fuck work for today, fuck studying for today, you're punishing your future self. Because whatever you're throwing, whatever you're procrastinating, it's it's all falling onto his plate, right? Now the future version of you has to do it. Instead of that mindset of punishing your future self, instead go like, I'll do it for you. Like I didn't have to create videos today. I didn't have to make videos today. I already have 4 videos scheduled. I have the 5th video exporting right now, and I'm recording the 6th or the 7th video. I don't even have to track right now. I don't need to be doing this. Even if I'm like 2 3 videos ahead, I can still be like, I can still maintain my consistency on this creating a video every single day for this month thing that I'm doing. I don't need to do this, but I want to work exceptionally hard because I want to reward my future self. Because I'm also fucking smart. I don't know what's gonna happen in future. Whenever you procrastinate, you're like, I know what's gonna happen. In the fuck you don't. What if tomorrow I just don't have the energy, or the gym session that I have injures me for some reason, or makes me just too sore, so I have to sleep overtime. I end up not working tomorrow at all. What then? I would have wasted 2 days instead of one. Be smart about this. And just by being able to delay gratification, you're gonna be ahead of so many people. It's stupid. Like the bar today, these days is so low. Like you only need to be doing a very few things, and you're just ahead of everybody in terms of your sexual market value, in terms of your just value in general as a man, in terms of your the like the relationships you have with your family. There's very few things that you need to do in order to just mog everybody else, dominate everybody. Just add this one thing to your mindset. Start gifting your future self, rewarding your future self instead of punishing them. And you're going to be so much ahead, bro. Number 5 is discipline. And here's why it's so important. I've created a full guide on discipline on my channel. It's there. If you want to check it out, go check it out. It's an amazing guide. It didn't get a lot of views because it was like really fucking big, but it's so valuable. I've listed out everything that I've found valuable in regards of discipline, in regards of me building discipline towards all areas of my life. So if you want to just check it out, go check it out. It's amazing. After watching this video, by the way, discipline would be by far the biggest factor that helped me make the progress that I've made in all areas of my life. In the gym, in terms of my attraction, like the physical attraction, in terms of the skills that I've learned, in terms of the progress I've made in terms of this YouTube channel. Discipline would be the biggest factor that has allowed me to do all of this. If I had to, if I had to sacrifice anything, like the last thing would be discipline. Like if I had to sacrifice something and still be able to make the progress that I've made, it could be a couple of things, but the discipline would be at the last. Like I would not sacrifice discipline. That discipline is absolutely crucial for me, at least for me, because without discipline, your fuel is just motivation, and motivation, intrinsic or extrinsic, meaning if it comes from external sources like some sort of a reward, or it comes from internal like an inner dialogue that you have, or your mentality, whatever kind of motivation that you have, it's just fleeting all the time. I talk about this a lot on my channel. Whenever you start doing something, whenever you get onto a regimen, there's always a honeymoon phase where progress is extremely easy, right? You must have experienced this. Whenever you start, if you're not consistent at the gym, whenever you're not consistent at the gym for a very long time, and then you start working on, you're consistent, certainly, that's the honeymoon phase. That is just motivation that is fueling you. After that comes discipline. If you keep working after that, that is because you have discipline. So being able to do something for an extended amount of time is what gets you results, because compound effect happens right at the point where most people drop off. So you're not gonna make progress for a long time, or you're gonna make not so significant progress. Like it's very minimal, and then suddenly it's gonna skyrocket. This is the point where most people slack off, where most people will be like, "Fuck it, it's not worth it," or "It's just not working for me, and I'm just not able to do this." Consistency is very important, but consistency is built through having discipline. Once consistency is just like, it's just a thing that you can do. Like it's consistency can be consistency can is not a skill that you have. It's not a thing that you have, right? Consistency is just an action. It's just you do some things repeatedly. It you have consistency, right? That happens because of discipline. So the core concept behind consistency and behind core compound effect, and being to allow yourself to make progress in any area of your life, be it the gym, be it YouTube, be it business, entrepreneurship, even the skills that you want to develop on your own, the personality that you want to have, all of them requires you to be consistently making efforts towards it, and to be able to remember, I said delay gratification, to be able to not see results for a very long time and still do the thing that is required in order to make progress. Discipline is key, and I cannot emphasize more on that. That's all I have for this video. Hopefully you find value in that. I'm building a community of high value men, or men who want to become high value. If you found value in this content, subscribe to my channel right now so my videos can find you more easily, and I can help you in your own self-improvement journey by videos like this every single day for this month. And I'll see you in the next video.